moderator John Dickerson is with us now from the set of Face the Nation. John, I'm going to start with the Democrats, and it looks like, at least according to the polls, Hillary Clinton's got a lock on South Carolina. She's probably going to win the primary. But what about Bernie Sanders? What does he have to do, or what result do we have to see to make sure that he's still seen as a viable candidate moving forward?
Well, he has to win, and he's got to win somewhere that's big, and that's one of the challenges for him. The reason he has to win is he's a momentum candidate. He's arguing that he's creating a movement across America. You have to show that by winning in states that shows that people are supporting you. And the other reason he has to win is, unlike, say, somebody like Marco Rubio, who, when Rubio comes in second, it suggests that he might be able to do better in future contests. The future contests for Bernie Sanders look very difficult for him. The electorate is less white and less liberal than in Iowa and New Hampshire, where he did well. So simply coming in second really isn't enough, because it doesn't really suggest that he's going to come in first somewhere else later. So he really needs to win if he's going to stay in the conversation as a viable alternative to Hillary Clinton.
You touched on something there. We know that the majority of black Democratic voters in South Carolina support Hillary Clinton. We also know that the African-American voting bloc is continuing to grow. It's been growing since President Obama. Can Bernie Sanders really win anything if he can't win over the African-American vote? His argument is they just don't know me. Well, I mean, he's kind of been in the public eye for a while now. People are getting to know him and what he stands for.
Right. And that's the problem for him, is that you can't go forward as a Democratic nominee without being able to excite the African-American community. Hillary Clinton has a version of the same problem. She doesn't excite younger voters, but they are a less of an important constituency at the moment in the Democratic race than African-American voters are. And you're right, Bernie Sanders is not a mystery to those voters. And also, again, he's arguing that he's creating a movement, and that and you just need to get votes if that's your argument. It's a very simple test of your theory of the case. So that's a big challenge for him. And he absolutely has done more than anybody would have expected with him. But that's really not the test. The test is whether he can actually win. And so with each contest that he doesn't win, it becomes harder for him to say, well, we got really close, because what happens is that the delegates start to mount up. Even though on the Democratic side they're distributed proportionally, Hillary Clinton still continues to gain those delegates, and as the future contests look like they're going her way, it just becomes harder and harder for Sanders to make his case.
Yeah. Let's turn to the Republicans now. And Donald Trump, off of another win, heading into Nevada. He has a huge lead there. It really appears as if he is unstoppable. Do you think there could be any surprises in Nevada at all?
Well, there are always surprises with Donald Trump. At the moment, though, the surprises have all fallen in his favor. And with each victory that he has, he is able to overcome more new obstacles. And it's kind of amazing what he was able to overcome and still win in South Carolina. He's been now the focus of direct attack from Ted Cruz, who is not only a smart and good debater, but also somebody who has standing within the community of voters that are supporting Donald Trump, and Cruz hasn't been able to stop him. So unless there is some great news surprise, it looks like Donald Trump has the kind of momentum and structure and relationship with the voters that you need to prevail. So it's looking pretty good for Trump in Nevada and everywhere else going forward.
And, throughout our conversations in regards to this election, there's been talk of the Trump-Cruz sort of voters and then everyone else. And it looks like Marco Rubio is shaping up to be the candidate for everyone else. If you want to call it establishment, you can do that. I mean, he is a Tea Party candidate, but now he's no longer sort of thought of as somebody who's so far to the right, I don't think anymore. But I want to ask you, he actually hasn't won anything yet, and that's something that Ted Cruz keeps pointing out. But when he was talking to you, he still said that he was well positioned to win the nomination. What do you make of that?
Well, what he's really relying on there is a theory. And his theory is essentially that once the field winnows, there's a group of voters who don't like Donald Trump, and with only one alternative, really, that they'll all coalesce behind Marco Rubio. So now, so it's sort of a theory about the future. The challenges to that theory are, one, it's not clear that every single voter who was with Jeb Bush is going to go to Marco Rubio. They may split around. They may go to a little bit to Kasich, to Cruz, and even some to Trump. So that's one challenge to his theory. And the other is that it may just be too late before Rubio can grab enough of the votes. His big test will be on the 15th of March in those winner-take-all states in Ohio and Florida against Trump. And so his theory is yet to be actually proved. He had hoped to win. At one point, the theory was that he was going to win South Carolina. That obviously didn't happen. So at the moment, Marco Rubio has a theory about how he's going to beat Donald Trump, but Trump has the actual votes, and that's more powerful.
All right. Face the Nation moderator, John Dickerson, thank you.
Thanks, Emery.